Good to be with you. Game week is here, and good to play against another opponent and hit a different color jersey. So we're excited on multiple levels. So with that, answer any questions you got.
With the kickoff, how much do you have to balance wanting to get some good working and figure out what's going on with not wanting to put too much on film?
Yeah, I think you've got to explore things, just continue to get information, not only from the technique standpoint, but your fundamentals that you're teaching. And there's an element of scheme. I think when we get out there on Sunday, we really want to see who can block, who can destruct the block, who can, who's good at block destruction, and who can tackle. So the evaluation process is still a huge part of it, but you also balance that with this, with the new play.
Because the penalty is going to hurt in the preseason, you work more on trying to hit the landings, and aiming, versus it being regular season.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So the way the ball is delivered, that'll be a very interesting thing. There's a couple elements here that I would say are going to be what to watch for. Right? How's the ball going to be delivered, conventionally or unconventionally? Are we kicking? If you watch the Hall of Fame game, both teams kicked, caught it, returned it. There is an advantage if you can kick the ball in the landing zone on the ground. That's that unconventional kick. So how much does that become the norm? That'd be number one. And then number two is on the return side, where is the starting field position after the ball is returned? Because the subtle yet substantial change where the touchback went from the 35 to the 30 is going to make a difference, because if teams are returning the ball out to the 36, 37, you may get back to square one where, hey, kicking a touchback to the 30 is more beneficial. So those are two elements that'll be played out. But, in the preseason, we want to kick to cover, and I think most teams want to do that to see how the play works out and also to evaluate your players.
The preseason, you know what Marvin can do as a returner. Is it about trying to find his partner as a returner?
Yeah, I think there's a couple elements there, Mike. We want to evaluate all the players on the roster. Obviously Marvin had a great year last year. We've kind of got a pretty good idea what he can do, and so there's other capable guys that can do it, and they've showed it during our camp, and we're excited to see what they can do come Sunday.
It was just one game, but because there were 7 kickoffs, 8 kickoffs in the Hall of Fame game, did it start to kind of help you see how these things might open up if we block it up right, just to see it in real time? Yeah,
I think every time the ball is kicked and it's returned, we're learning more and more. We're getting more data, right? There's a couple games tonight, so we'll watch that film. Again, that's just a small sample size, and so as more and more data comes in, not only on techniques, but fundamentals, scheme, how the ball's being delivered, we'll continue to make our adjustment. I was in the military. This is a movement to contact, right? This is not a deliberate attack, knowing exactly what the opponent or the enemy is going to do. They got to vote, so there's going to be some adjustments as we move forward.
Time for 2 more questions, Zach. How much has your personnel changed this year with all of these changes as opposed to last year?
Yeah, well, I think the personnel changes just simply for the benefit that there's going to be more plays. Our hope, again, when the rule was constructed, we wanted more returns and we wanted to reduce the long-run, high-speed collisions. So simply with there's more plays, especially on the coverage element, you need people that can destruct, beat blocks and make tackles. And then on the other side, it's who can block. So that personnel adjustment, especially when you get into the season, on those Sundays when that roster size, you don't have 100 guys on the sideline that you can choose from. So that'll continue to be a work in progress. And, I like where we're at. So we just got to keep moving forward and getting better.
Last question, Mason. Trent McGill had a couple of punts yesterday with that backspin, kind of bounced it back into the field to play. What has he shown in this punting competition?
Yeah, I think both punters have done an outstanding job. I'm really excited about that spot. I've been doing this a while, and I would share with you that those two punters are hitting the ball as well or better than any two punters that I've seen. Not only with their field punts, as we call it, but also those pooch punts going in, which is a huge factor because more and more punts are becoming that pooch punt where you're down in the ball inside the 10. Gil's done an excellent job with that, and so both of those guys will have an opportunity on Sunday to show what I have seen during the camp.